Hello? Can everybody hear me in the audience okay? Yeah? Get out. The door is right. Welcome. Come on, Heavenly, it's my moment.
The mic isn't what?
This is. You can hear it?
It sounds a little more amplified than...
Should I just talk? What do you guys think? Mic, no mic? What do you like?
Have a good voice. You sound great.
Oh, okay.
Project.
He's wearing a mask, will make him lose his voice.
I'm good, I got this. Welcome everybody to the VTubing Q&A panel run by VT Rainbow.
Yeah, that's
us.
wow.
That's wild.
We're that.
Yeah. I'd like to hear it. Welcome everybody. My name is Zoga. Roll that R as always. For those of you that know me, I'm joined today by Macari.
Hi, Macari.
I feel like I should be heading my way down to a ring of some kind with some
Why aren't you
trucks on.
moving?
I didn't hear a word.
All right, bye.
Oh no! We've got Artsy.
Hello.
Yay.
We've got Marina.
Yeah!
Hello. Hi.
And we've got the stinky wolf boy himself. It's TFM.
There.
My apologies. Would you prefer to be called a coyote? Is that something you prefer?
Coyote.
Yeah, coyote. Yeah, I've heard. No. Yeah.
I
Good.
thought it was a cat.
Welcome,
I'm confused.
one and all, to I'm hoping the first VTuber Q&A panel in MAGFest history? Question mark? Somebody? Yeah?
Second.
Shut up. We're taking the first. We're taking the first as of now. First unofficial, official.
First.
Welcome everybody. We're going to be doing a Q&A here. If you guys want to learn anything about VTubing or content creation as a whole, we have 4 amazing content creators right up here, and myself, because I pretend like I know what I'm doing half the time and it just works out. So we're going to do quick, I guess, introductions for everybody like I just did. Maybe just go down the line, talk about what VT Rainbow is, our group, our VTuber team, and then we'll be opening the floor to questions for you all, whether it be pertaining to VTubing or content creation as a whole. Let us know if you're interested. So, Marina, why don't you take it away and explain what VT Rainbow is?
Hi, hello. VT Rainbow is an LGBTQ-focused VTuber group. We officially debuted in June of 2022, last year. And we've just been working last year as a group to create really fun content. We provide resources for LGBTQ VTuber members. We put on showcases, and just other kind of fun streams individually. The VT Rainbow bar that you see here was just debuted last fall. And we've been using that. I use that weekly, every Friday night at midnight EST for a special sex ed and relationship advice stream. So it's some of the content that we've been doing as a VT Rainbow brand. We've done some VR chat meetups and stuff like that, and this is our second or third panel? I think our third official. We kind of had an unofficial one before we were debuted with some people. But yeah, that's VT Rainbow, and we got some. It's the 4 of us, the lovely bunny boy who's out of his digital fursuit right now, and then Lotus. Lotus is our formerly.
I'll buy you one of these.
Go ahead. Come up here.
No, go for it.
Yeah, formerly Alien Lotus, but Low Lotus is our 6th member who is not here. And then we keep an eye out because our rainbow should be getting a little bit bigger this year.
Hey, fantastic. Well, thank you for giving that introduction. Like I said, this is primarily a Q&A panel pertaining to VTubing and content creation. So now that you know a little bit more about VT Rainbow, if you guys do have any questions you want to ask us specifically, or just ask us our takes in pertaining to VTubing and content creation, go ahead and form a queue up here on the side. There's a microphone. I think it's live already. We tested it. Oh my God, Heavenly.
Yes. Yo.
Let me ask a question first.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hello? Can y'all hear me?
We're gonna pretend like, but go ahead.
Can they hear me?
No,
We can't. I don't think we
I'm
can.
gonna have to relay the question.
Oh my God. What would you say is the biggest drive for you to wake up and hit the go live button every day?
Oh, okay. That's actually not a bad question coming from Heavenly.
Why would you think I would give you?
Wait, Heavenly not trolling? I don't understand this.
So the question is, what motivates and drives you to get up every day and hit the go live button?
Does anyone have that Mr. Krabs meme? Money.
The wantingness to never return to a desk job. That's my answer. I've done corporate and I don't want to ever do it again.
Hell yeah.
Someone want to grab this one first? Someone want to tackle this one first? Otherwise,
You guys feel good on that? All right, listen. Money is a good answer. I'm doing it.
No, I'm not coming. I'm not.
yeah,
gonna come
no,
across
I'll hop in, and say, yes, so definitely. I think for all of us here, four of us, I don't know about everyone in the group, but we do pretty much do VTubing as like a full-time job. So as you know, we joke about the money thing, but it's a job, right? It's our job. So that's something that is exciting. Yeah. But I think more than that, it's why this job? I think that's the real question if that's a reality is it's really wonderful. It's nice, yes, not having to do a desk job and being able to be like our own bosses and that sort of thing. But more importantly, this is the most rewarding job I have ever done. And I say that as someone who was a teacher, which was also one of the most rewarding jobs I've ever done. But to have an impact on so many people, the amount of, and I'm sure every single person here, at this panel who's a VTuber has experienced, like, you have people who will watch your streams and then voice to you like how impactful that was and what helped them out in their life. When you get that one message, just like, you don't know this, but I was in a really dark place this year and I loved watching your streams. It's the fact that I know I'm doing something for people that makes me feel really good about pushing through. Because, we all have our great days and we all have our dark days, and pushing through every single day to hit that go live button, I feel like for me personally is to make sure that I continue on that. Because it feels good. It's nice,
Well, thank you for answering that. Thank you, Heavenly.
Hey,
Hello.
So next question is, what made you guys decide to do VTubing over maybe using your actual face?
Cool.
I like that voice. I heard every word of that.
Yeah, you heard that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
What made us, you want to repeat that for us just one more time?
Yeah, it trailed off towards the end.
To repeat the question is, what made us want to become VTubers as opposed to becoming facecam streamers or facecam content creators?
I mean, I suppose it kind of depends on the history, because I used to be a facecam streamer back in the day.
Go for it.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it.
I mean, yeah. Go ahead.
I suppose realistically, the premise is about creativity and expression. I mean, I think a lot of us, when we were younger, thought about, dress up Barbies and how cool it would be to be able to be creative and whatever. And now, as full-blown degenerate adults, we get to use that creativity and actually be Barbie dolls online.
Oh. Did you tag in there, Johnny, as well, or Makari? Were you?
I was just gonna say, with VR and everything, that's kind of how I got into it. I used to do facecam streaming as well, but mostly my content was centered around VR before we were called VTubers, and then it just kind of transitioned into that. A lot of VR chat streamers from 2018, 2019 moved over to VTubing just naturally.
For sure.
It's also the lovely act of playing that sweet game of roulette every day as to your chat being able to guess whether you're wearing pants or not while you're streaming.
Yeah, I stream in my pajamas. It's great.
The answer is always no.
For sure.
I
No, I myself.
feel like
Oh, go ahead, RC.
Yeah, I feel like it also comes back to why I enjoy streaming. Like building a community that you can relate to and people that actually kind of understand you a bit better. You find that a lot more on the VTubing and for me also the VR end, rather than on like as the just chatting streams that you expect, because you get different sort of people watching your streams based on where you stream or how you stream. And I feel for a lot of us, we just find the right community amongst VTubing.
I would add to that as well and say that the VTubing community is probably one of the most open-minded that you'll find on the internet in general. It's so all-encompassing.
You couldn't hear him, but Heavenly snickered at that. I would basically like to shadow what everybody else was saying. I myself as well started as a Facecam streamer. I was streaming for 4 years before I discovered VTubing. Much like most other people, as I'm sure in this room, discovered it during the boom of COVID and fell in love with it because of the creativity and the ability to express yourself, maybe in ways that live cam and face cam didn't allow you, whether it be for your physical appearance, maybe your gender, maybe your voice, or you just have really cool ideas that aren't feasible using what you have available to you. VTubing is this amazing way that people can really express themselves regardless of what hand they were dealt at birth or what hand they're currently playing with. So, thank you for the question. I appreciate it. So, oh, did they freeze? Did you guys freeze? No! All right, hold on. Guys, you froze. 1 sec. No, technology! Discord!
Do you need VTubers? Do you need help?
We'll give it a sec. We'll give it a sec. Does anyone know if Discord is down right now?
I feel like the servers are a little bit better.
Actually, I just DM'd somebody. It's fine. It's on your end. Still listening.
Well, I lost connection to the Wi-Fi, so that's not great.
If you scroll, there's the option for the staff was.
Yes.
Can you cut this straight?
Yes.
I blame the card.
I have a phone on, so I don't know.
You know, yeah. Fuck you, Radio.
Yeah, it's my fault.
It's her fault.
This is totally normal. If you've watched a VTuber stream before, I'm sure you're used to scum.
Good. So I have permission to take a picture and be like, yeah, VTuber scum.
VTuber scum! Yeah!
Yeah!
Thank you for the pity cross. I appreciate it. Thank you. Really does mean a lot. What you mean? We'll be back up in. We've got text up here. As I sweat bullets up here, standing in front of so many people.
You're good in front of bam. You have Team B at any point. Ready.
I can handle this. I have dealt with worse stuff than this before.
Oh, I'm sure.
Probably. I have Spectrum as an internet service provider. They have screwed me over more streams than anyone else.
So sorry. I hope it gets better.
It won't. It won't. There is no LAN, unfortunately.
He doesn't have a gig.
We're gonna see what happens. It's giving me a on my phone real quick.
Yeah.
So let's me log in here. What the fuck? They got me.
I'm trying to just log in with my staff to the mail. Yeah, I kicked them out, and now it's saying attendees do not have Wi-Fi access.
It's probably never been
Well, yeah.
It says that we have it.
Hi, welcome to England.
Is it stable?
We're back!
Hang on.
Everybody, put your pants on.
Okay.
Hand off my thumb.
Let's stream.
And there it goes.
Yeah.
I'm trying. It's really hard.
Stand by, guys. We got some scuff with the internet.
No shit.
Yeah. What do you want?
In the meantime, while we're waiting for the stuff to
Roy, you know how we said earlier that you shouldn't have...
questions you guys may have, and then we can get other opinions from the rest of my team. If you guys are interested, please feel free to
Nah.
up as well. Even code twice, and only I'm the one to answer your question. So, if you would like to ask your question.
Oh, sure, why not?
Yeah, absolutely.
What are the common hurdles that generally anyone starting VTubing run into, and also what are some tips to get over that?
Sure, I think that's a great question. Now, for those of you that didn't hear the question, it's what are the hurdles that VTubers face, especially when they're starting out?
The 2023.
With VTubing, especially now in 2023, it's very different than it was in 2020. Just like streaming is now different than it was in 2013 when we transitioned from Justin TV to Twitch TV. The big differences now is that VTubing is not something that's super unique.
Oh, now it's on staff.
We have an enormous amount of other VTubers that are out there now.
I'm very confused.
Companies like HoloLive,
I'm gonna make sure that
Is Roy answering questions himself?
Yeah, he's running the panel himself.
Okay.
now, of course, many of you know this because us here in VT Rainbow are.
If you can hear us, right?
Now this will be the only one that's available.
I think Roy's running. Was.
All right. Well, we're back.
Hello.
Questions?
Hi.
I'll relay them the questions as we get them back up. Guys, you're back. Say hello.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello.
We missed you. We missed you.
No, it's okay. We're on the right audio device. All right. So the question that I was fielding was, what issues or struggles do you face as a VTuber? Or specifically, what struggles or advice would you give to a VTuber that is just starting out?
That's a very good question.
Okay.
Save your money.
VTubing is expensive, especially
It's
when
very
it gets to the deep
expensive,
end of
yeah.
things. What I would say though, to that extent, is VTubing is also very accessible, especially in the modern era of VTubing, where there's so much free public domain content that you can make use of.
I also tell people, don't be afraid to be a PNG tuber to try it out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's literally where you should start. If you're starting Greenfield, if you're just coming into it, especially if you haven't done a lot of streaming to begin with, get a PNG, be a PNG tuber. There's nothing wrong with that. And learn how to stream and get the feel for it first before you drop 10K on a model.
Exactly.
True. Very true. Do anybody else have any insight on the hurdles that VTubers face?
Maybe something from personal experience, but making VTubing the only selling part of your brand kind of becomes a bit of a tendency. Trying to market yourself rather than just your model is kind of a big poignant thing.
Yeah, that's really well put, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. All right, well, thank you so much for your question. We really do appreciate it. All right, who is up next for a question? Maybe if Heavenly would stop talking to you, you'd be ready.
Listen, I have friends. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, you're good. You're good.
So my question is,
I can just imagine Heavely's like stood next to everyone with his leg up next to him.
foraying into the entertainment field? And whether or not it is or it isn't, what experiences before now do you think have helped you in the entertainment world?
Oh, I like this question. All right, so the question is this our first time getting into the entertainment industry? And if not, or what specific skills could we bring in from previous experiences?
Anything is a skill that can translate. Prime example, I'm an animator. A lot of my artistic and animation skills translated very nicely into doing content creation and such like. If you have a skill set, you can make content for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody else want to chime in?
I do character design, and when using VR and some cheaper assets, I am able to pretty much very quickly put together almost any sort of character, and it makes it very easy to try out various designs and eventually create full-blown characters out of them.
Well, great. Marina, anything?
Yeah, I think it really comes down to that. Like, you pull skills from anywhere. Like, I have so I worked in the entertainment industry, and I was a development executive for a production company for a couple of years. And I have background in screenwriting, in acting, and directing. Like, I know a lot of basic like film industry kind of things. I had some theater background, some improv backgrounds. Like, all those things are nice, but also, like, besides all those, being a teacher. being able to communicate an idea to other people clearly, like learning that skill as a teacher has been one of the things that probably helps me the most with VTubing, even more than any of the entertainment industry stuff. Interestingly enough, I find.
To further that as well, I would also say that although any skills and any asset can help you with content creation, anything that's like very forward-facing and people-orientated will help you a lot. Being a content creator is all about being entertaining, and if you have something that is very flashy or showmanship style, it's going to help you a lot with content and confidence.
I'll just add on to that really quickly as well, because the VTubing space is a really great example of this. Is just take whatever your hobby is and adapt it to the space. Like I did music for almost 20 years. I'm a singer, and so I brought that to VTubing. And there's like, you look at Oniguri, who does cooking, and like there's lots of examples out there of various VTubers that have taken hobbies and stuff that they enjoy and things they know about and just adapted it to VTubing, and it's been very effective and successful for them.
Yeah, to mirror what...
Never be a naysayer either.
Oh, good.
I was just gonna say, never be a naysayer. Anything's possible.
Yeah.
If you can have somebody VTubing and cooking at the same time, if you think whatever it is you're doing is way too niche or whatever, you can make it work. Yeah. Absolutely.
And technology just keeps expanding. So
yes,
creating innovative new content is something that anybody can do, even someone who doesn't have experience as a VTuber. And you have other experience.
So the mindset to have is lead the way, don't follow the way. Or something poetic like that.
to mirror on what Johnny was saying as well, I myself came from very much a D&D background because I love improv. I love being able to come up with storytelling and things of that nature, even at the drop of a dice, being able to jump into a character. And now, thank you. And on the internet now, you know, I portray Roy, I'm a bunny barista, I have my cafe, and we do improv sketch comedy. That is the bulk of my content, and that's why I'm here today. So you never know what small hobby is going to be able to jettison you into your next idea, your next career path, your next dream. So chase it. Have fun with it. Great. Thank you for the question.
Also, VT Rainbow D&D session when?
Hey, yo.
True. We're gonna go.
Sounds cool. I've never tried before.
All right.
Nice.
There we go.
Nice.
I was going to say, as long as
We're gonna go rule set 4.
All right, please, next question.
Hi.
Hi.
Nice to meet you all. So my question is more, during your stream career, was there like, what was maybe a skill you picked up, maybe a game you played, maybe like some approach you decided to take differently with streaming that once you did it, you decided, oh my God, this can actually work out. I could probably go full time with this. Is really working for me.
Okay. Yeah. So the question is, was there a specific game, moment, activity, or something in your streaming career where it kind of clicked and it made it so that you could go, hey, I can do this full time, or this is what I want to do? I see you excited, Art.
Yeah.
To that?
So I started out quite some time ago. I think it was like 2018 or something, and it was a little game called VR Chat. And
wow, I've never had that before.
And I don't know, it was just like one moment where I was like, hey, do you all want to like watch me hang out or something? I'll just move around in VR and talk. Well, not talk. I wasn't talking at all back then. I just interacted with friends, and then people kept watching it, and I was like, all right, cool. Let's just keep doing this. And it blew up very quickly from there. And now I still kind of do the same thing. But that's, I think VR as a platform for me has definitely been that one thing where within a week or two, it's like, okay, holy shit, this is, sorry.
We got the nod. We're out yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, VR was definitely that platform. VR Chat.
Okay. Any other? Don't just give me the nod.
Yeah, I think for me, the moment where I was like, oh wow, I think I can actually do this, where it went from just like hobby streaming, because I also started as a face cam streamer, right? And it was hobby streaming. It was like, oh, this is I'll never be a Twitch partner. Like, I'll never, those are the things that, I told myself when I started. But I was just playing games, doing it for fun. But the moment when I started doing like collaborations, and then I did my first like chat-based group collaboration, where it was more like putting on a show than it was just playing a game or something, right? That's when I was like, ooh, that went really well. Like, that was really engaging. People really liked that. I had a really good time. My guests had a really good time. And that was that moment where I was like, all right, I think this is my thing. I think social chatting, like collab, is my strength right now, my content. And that was really what I explored and kind of helped me to grow.
Great. Anyone else want to chime in?
I suppose I had a bit of a different path through. I've been doing content creation since 2014 kind of thing, all the way back when I was doing my artwork full time. And that kind of translated really well into me doing content, because people in my art community wanted me to do games with them, and some of them couldn't join me in the game with me, so they just said, why don't you stream it on Twitch? And I guess I kind of had that moment of this is a thing I want to do, when I saw that people joining me who weren't part of that art community. It's like, people actually like my personality? What?
I get you. How about you, Johnny?
Well, my story was really similar to Artsy's, just basically doing things in VR chat. And I'm a little bit different, though, in that I wasn't really, like, I was still an extremely small streamer when I went full time. I just basically I got laid off from my job, and I'm like, let's try this. And I had the finances to kind of float me for a little while. So anybody out there who's thinking of doing that, give it a shot if you want to do it. It worked out for me. It took a little while, a lot of grinding, a lot of hard work, but it can work out.
For sure. And then for me, I talked about it a little bit with D&D being a big inspiration for me, and improv sketch comedy. I didn't start out VTubing with that. I kind of tried to follow what everybody else was doing, which was playing games, maybe some reaction content, doing, you laugh, you lose challenges and things like that. But I think all of us can attest to, once you kind of stop worrying about other people and you focus on you and your lane, and you put your head down and you do what you're good at, people are going to see that. And when you create content around the things that not only are you passionate about, but you are creative or skilled, talented, or whatever you want to call it, people are going to see that and see that you care about what you're doing and see the quality of that content.
It all comes down to ambition.
Running around. Anybody want to tack on to that? I heard you say something, Makari.
I was just saying, it all comes down to ambition, actually having the drive and the energy and the urge to want to do something.
For sure. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, so I do, if I can add real quick, right?
Sure.
I do like consultations for VTubers, whether people are starting out or whether people have been around for a while. And one of the things I feel like I get as a question from a lot of people is, what content should I be doing, right? Like, what should I be playing? Like, what's good? What's going to help me grow, this or that? And there's never a golden answer. Like, that's the thing that I need to always stress to people, is that it's not about looking at what other people are doing and being like, oh, that works for them, right? Like, I'm going to go do that because they got really popular doing this, or they have really high numbers, or it's not about doing something that you think is going to do well. It's about doing something that you're good at, and something that is fun to watch you do. Because at the end of the day, if you can be entertaining and have fun, people are going to be drawn to that. And there's no magic answer to how you're not going to overnight go from, just starting out to having like 1,000 viewers. You have to let the dice roll, and you have to just keep doing your best job and see what happens, And of course, there's other things outside. Probably the biggest thing is, don't put all your eggs in the Twitch basket, meaning try to create content or reuse your content on YouTube, on, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, any of the areas where other people are consuming content. That's a good way to grow, because it's very rare for people to grow on Twitch without having a outside exposure on any other website that has a better algorithm.
Yeah. Also, can I take a moment here really quickly to congratulate a certain Bunny Boy on hitting partner on YouTube?
Hey yo, yeah, congratulations.
Thanks. No, the red check mark. YouTube.
Red check mark, yeah!
Thank you, Heavenly. Thank you.
It takes a lot of hard work, so yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It does.
Congratulations, Roy.
And actually, that's probably a really important thing as well. Celebrate the important things. Celebrate everything. Take every achievement and celebrate it because you fucking deserve it. Game word, sorry. You deserve it.
What are you doing?
I'm sorry.
I can't believe this. Well, thank you so much for your question. Really do appreciate it. Next question, please.
Hi. I kind of noticed that, it's fine. I kind of noticed that, there's a mix of 2D and 3D models up here. And so what I kind of want to know is why they chose to go the 2D path or the 3D path, and what's the design process behind creating their VTubers and that whole sort of
Sure. So the question is there's a mix of 2D and 3D among us right now.
Among us?
Among us.
So there's a mix of 2D and 3D among us right now. But is there a reason why you decided to go with that, or what influenced your design?
I don't think there's any really clear-cut answer for this. It really comes down to the content creator. I think most of us here actually have both a 3D and a 2D model.
Absolutely nothing stopping you.
It's just it depends on what content you do. I rely on my 3D model, for example, quite a bit because I do VR chat content quite a bit, so you need a 3D model for that.
Yeah.
I also just enjoy the tracking, that quality that you get on a 3D model versus a live 2D model. So it's very dependent on what content you do.
Yeah, and there's no magic answer. It's the same thing I tell people is there are really basic 3D models and really basic 2D models, and there are poorly rigged 3D models and poorly rigged 2D models, and there are amazingly rigged 3D models and amazingly rigged 2D models. It really kind of comes down to what you want. 3D I find to be more accessible because Vroid exists, where anybody can just go make a free 3D model via Vroid, or even grab something off a VR chat like booth page or something and turn it into something they want. But there are different feelings, right? The feeling of a live 2D, the bounciness, the smoothness, and being able to showcase someone's art, that's something I'm not gonna say you can't do in 3D. It's different. It's a bit different. Yeah.
I suppose a lot of it comes down to preference.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I myself use a 2D model as well, but I also, like Johnny, have a 3D model specifically for VR chat. I agree with everybody here. I think it comes down to preference a lot of the time.
A good idea to have as well is don't just limit yourself. If you want, don't think you just have to have a 2D or have to have a 3D. You can be as expressive as you want with all of this.
Agreed.
I feel like
eventually, but start as a PNG too. Don't spend $1,000 right away. Anyway, thank you so much for the question. We do really appreciate it. Next question.
Hi, this one's kind of a personal question. How do you deal with burnout if it's especially something that your audience knows you for?
So, how do you deal with burnout, especially if it's something that your audience knows you for?
Take a break.
I think I can kind of...
Is it your audience knows you for burnout, or your audience knows you for having a high energy personality or something and you're getting burnt out?
It's a combination of really bad dad jokes and Smash Brothers.
Is that Horatius?
No! How dare you!
So are you burnt out, or is your audience burnt out of you?
I am burnt out.
Okay.
I am done with Smash, and I am done with these dad jokes.
But it's the content that your community knows you for, is what you're saying.
That's all.
Oh, okay.
Got it.
How do you shift your community if you're like kind of over? How do you?
This is a multifaceted
How do you make the
question,
dreaded?
which is very important to tackle.
Honestly, it's not even just a VTubing thing.
When you burn out on the content that you're creating, but you're worried about losing your audience, correct? Okay.
That's hard.
I can actually go into this one from a really personal experience. So before I became a VTuber, I used to do Warframe. I used to average 500, 600 viewers sometimes with that game because it was the only thing I'd stream. And I literally streamed that game for almost 5 years solidly. And then it got to a point where I had that sensation of burnout, and I knew that I wasn't enjoying myself. And the thing is, if you keep pushing yourself to do something you're burnt out on, it shows. And if it shows, your audience can certainly see it. It's one of those things where you have to prioritize your enjoyment before other people's enjoyment. Because if you're not enjoying what you're doing and you're burnt out, it'll show, and you'll probably even start falling away from doing content creation in general because it'll feel like a chore to you. So the way to avoid it is the simple fact is 9 out of 10 times if you try to when you start taking a break to pull away from that burnout, you will just take a hit. It just happens. People get used to consistency. People get used to you doing the same thing every day, and people don't like change. If you change something, people are going to fall away from that. So you got to kind of try and buffer yourself as you transition into different things.
Yeah, for sure. To tackle.
You can also.
Oh, good, Marina.
I was gonna say you can also wean people off of content. Like instead of going from streaming League of Legends every single day to then swapping a variety of VTubing, you stream your League, and if you stream 4 or 5 hours a day, you do 3 hours of it, and you're like, hey, I'm gonna try something new for these last 2 hours. Let's do something else. You're still pulling in your audience. They still feel like they're there for a normal stream. But then they're more inclined to be like, okay, I'm already here, so let me hang out and see how this goes.
Being honest
and some people will leave.
Helps a lot as well.
Yeah, some people will leave, but it's a way to start doing that and introduce your audience to that content while still feeling safe. And then eventually, if you don't want to do League anymore, you decide, hey everyone, I'm not going to do this every day like I did before. I'm going to start doing other stuff. And, that is a potential way to make that transition a little bit smoother.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Marina's saying as well, I have experienced a lot of burnout, and it's actually why I transitioned into VTubing. I used to be very big and relatively well known in speedrunning community for RPGs like Final Fantasy VII Remake. But when I hit a point of burnout, like you're describing, I fell off of speedrunning entirely. And even though I knew it's what my audience knew me for, I knew I was going to lose the entire audience. I knew that it was better for myself in the long run and for my content in the long run to pick something that was better for me mentally, emotionally, something I knew that I could continue to create things. And eventually it led me to doing what I do now and to meeting these creators here. So ultimately, don't be afraid of trying new things. Yes, there's going to be bumps in the road. Yes, there are going to be other things, but burnout is something that you can fight. Just be willing to take that step, because nothing will change until you change something.
Exactly. Get used to hearing the question, do you still play that game? I haven't played Warframe in 2 years, and I still get people coming in asking me if I play it.
Well, thank you so much for your question. I hope that helped.
Thank you. Is it my turn?
We have Heavenly back up, I warn you guys. Go ahead, Heavenly.
Anyone else want to ask a question?
That's got to be racially motivated. I have a 2-part question. Is that okay with you, Roy?
Sure, so long as it's fast.
My first part question would be, how would I grow if I myself am a small VTuber? Should I use TikTok, YouTube Shorts, or any other sort of social media?
Okay. The question is, and I'm going to answer it for everybody because it's easy. The question is, if I'm a small VTuber, how do I grow? Should I use platforms like TikTok, YouTube? Like, what should I be using? The answer is yes.
Yes?
Every
All of those
platform.
platforms.
You need to get
Everything.
your face. You need to get your face in people's faces. You need to make sure people remember you.
Yeah.
If you're making TikTok style content, you should be posting it on Instagram and YouTube Shorts, like anywhere that you can put your content out. Twitter too, like just you can repost content
Yeah.
and it's fine because you'll get different audiences, right?
Especially
Facebook
since we
family
don't know
group,
how long
MySpace.
TikTok's gonna last. So make sure you're elsewhere.
One thing you can do is, if you make YouTube content, you can cut out very small bits out of that content and just repost it on TikTok or YouTube Shorts.
It's about working smarter, not harder. If you've made one bit of content, there's nothing wrong with turning that one bit into many bits of content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, make content. Put it on other platforms. Twitch is terrible for growth. They're not gonna find you there. They're gonna find you on YouTube. They're gonna find you on TikTok.
Yeah.
They're gonna find you on Instagram. They're gonna find you on Twitter. Make content on other platforms. Streaming is the least important piece of content creation you can do.
If I could add one more thing, there's one thing that always gets glossed over in this topic, and it's a complaint that I hear from a lot of creators that are multi-platform, is they'll be like, oh, I released a TikTok and then I put it on Shorts, but I didn't get a lot of views on Shorts. What's going on? And the thing that gets explained to explain this issue every time is be cognizant of what audience you have on each platform, because 9 times out of 10, it's always a slightly different audience from platform to platform. And part of being a creator is understanding each of those audiences.
And making sure that each platform knows of your other platform's existence.
Yeah.
There's no point getting a big following on Instagram, but nobody on Instagram knows you have a Twitch.
Yeah. All right. So what is the?
Just have to be careful with algorithm.
I am a small content creator myself. However, I would like to branch out and meet other content creators. What is the safest and easiest way to collab with other content creators my size or bigger?
Okay. So Heavenly lying for everybody, saying that he's a small content creator.
I'll smash.
But does actually offer a very valid question. When you are
Good
a
question,
YouTuber
yeah.
or a content creator, how do you reach out to others, regardless of being smaller or bigger than you, for collaborations?
Anyone feel free to take this, or I
Kind of
will.
what I do.
We can do this as we can do this as a role play if you want, Artsy.
Listen.
Hold on. Hey, Artsy. Hey, Artsy. I like your face. Do you want to do some content creation?
Sure. If you take charge, because I'm nervous. Yes.
Okay. I think I can answer this one relatively safely. Trying to work with other content creators is just like making friends. It's socializing. You get to know people. You get to know if they have similar interests as you, similar games. You get to once you know someone and once you make friends, the collabing just kind of comes with it.
Yep. So I can attest to what Bakari is as well. I do this literally for all of my content. I reach out to people, steal their content, and then make it my own. It's what I do professionally. Big thing when it comes to collaborating with people that you may not be familiar with. Like Makari was saying, trying to become friends is definitely a good step that you can take. Getting to know their content to make sure that you can actually vibe well with them or create with them. Like, let's say I wanted to make something with, I know TFM Johnny mentioned onigiri earlier. If we're not doing a cooking or, hand cam based stream, I need to come up with something that's interesting for them. I know they really like doing cooking and baking and doing hand cam streams, but that's not really what I do. So I would have to come up with a way that makes sense. I know a word that gets to get thrown around a lot as well is clout chasing. Don't think about it like that. If you have a good idea, that's what matters, regardless of your size. There's still times that I might recommend against reaching out to certain people, especially if you're just starting, because you need to get your boots wet first before you start reaching out to people. Make sure everything's nice and tidy in your own house and that you focus and stay in your lane as you're starting. After you feel like you've established yourself a little bit with the type of content you do and people can look at you and go, hey, that's Roy, he does a cafe. Hey, that's Makari, Artsy, Marina, TFM Johnny. Everybody can look at these creators and know what they do. Get to that point, then start reaching out to people.
A bit of a slap in the face with the reality as well is that you're not going to be everyone's friend. It's just that simple. Like you're not going to be able to collab with everyone. You're not going to be everyone's friend. It's just the way it is. It's like people.
And I think one of the other things we keep talking about too is like we're saying friends, and that's a really good, it's not even an analogy, it's a truth. And it's like, you don't walk into the Barnes & Noble, point at someone and, hey, you, we're friends now, right? That's weird. If someone did that to you, you'd be like, sorry, I don't know you. I like, please don't talk to me, right?
Collaborations sometimes based off organic friendships, because if all you're there is to bait off of their content or whatever, then it kind of shows.
Yeah, and sometimes people don't know how to get started in VTubing or collabing, and they do the same thing. They'll just shoot cold DMs to people. Hi, I'm also a VTuber. Let's collab. And it's like, I don't know you. I've never, like that sort of thing. No, not to say that people can't message anyone, but again, it comes down to like establishing stuff. Like now that I have established myself with the content that I make, especially around like a show that I do, right? Like I can reach out to people that I haven't collabed with yet and be like, hey, would you like to be on this show? I can point to links of my show. I can like, showcase what it is. Like I'm not just like a random name in a Twitter DM or something, right?
Yeah.
And the reality of, because
artists out there,
the second part of that, I feel like for a lot of people as well, how do I make friends? And we've talked about this, but that organic get to know their content, like pop into people's this is what I always tell people when it comes to like when I do my consults and people are asking me this question about collabing and networking. It's, you got to put in the work to get to know people, and there is no magic answer. You have to invest time in actually getting to know people. Go to people's streams, watch their content, see if you enjoy their content, if you vibe with their content, talk in their chat, interact with them on Twitter, to find ways to try to interact with content creators that you would like to connect with. It's never a guarantee. Someone mentioned this, I don't remember who, but no one's obligated to be anyone's friend. You're not going to be friends with everyone. Like, it's just how it is, and you have to be okay and not take it personally if somebody says no or someone just doesn't respond to your DMs.
It's kind
no matter
of
how established you are.
It's kind of about being a bit real about it as well. There's nothing to say you have to collab with other people either. Like if you are a bit of an antisocial butterfly and you find socializing scary and you don't want to interact with a million people, then doing your own thing for a while is fine. But you have to be kind of real about it, that if you are collabing, you are increasing your chances exponentially of getting your face out there.
Yep.
Yes.
All right, we're going to move on from that. We got about 15 minutes left, so let's get through some more of these questions. Wait,
what? Already? Damn.
Hi, I was wondering, like, when you were creating the designs for your models, like, what kind of went into your thought process? Like, did you already know what kind of vibe you were going for, or like, do I want this to be like a more humanoid model or like less human looking? Like, yeah, how'd the character design process go, basically?
For sure. So the question is about how our character design process went. If there was anything specific that, why we picked what we picked and why the way we look. If there was a reason for humanoid or alien or wolf boy that stinks, just.
I feel called out.
Well, I mean, if the shoe fits, I mean, I can.
I mean, for my design, I just looked at my artist and went, I've been playing a lot of Genshin Impact and I like Razor. Can we do something like that? And then, no. I guess it really just boils down. Yeah, it just really boils down to like find an artist, and work with them. Sorry, I'll shut up now. I'm sorry.
You're good.
It all starts with an idea. You have to have an idea to have something be created. I mean, for me originally, my design originally translated somewhat from my dysphoria. My original character was kind of represented my ambitions for who and what I wanted to be, because I knew I couldn't be that in real life for the time. So I kind of channeled a lot of that self yearning into the character, and it kind of helped me realize that.
Yeah.
I like to turn either specific emotions or feelings that I have into characters. And I've designed myself probably 8 times over in the last couple of years.
Every single one of them is adorable.
Thank you. And for instance, like right now, I'm an alien, and it comes from a feeling I have of not fitting in very well and feeling kind of alienated in some ways or forms. And I figured, hey, that's a feeling I really like. And well, not, I don't like it, but I also feel I relate to it, you know. And like I don't know, sometimes I feel like, I feel kind of upset and I kind of want some visual representation for that. And hopefully I don't change too often because it's hard on branding, but it's something I can't help myself from doing. And so I just try my best to put a visual, like an image behind the meeting, personally, yeah.
Great. All right, we're going to, just for the interest of time, because we still have 4 questions left. But thank you for the question. I hope that helped. All right, next question, please.
So I'll ask the question twice, one for memes and one for Ernest.
I hate it.
We always ask what the VTuber doing, but we never ask how the VTuber doing. The more serious version of the question is, mental health is a really important aspect of being in the entertainment world, which VTubers are. What aspect of your mental health has been the most compelling hurdle to overcome as you've been an entertainer?
That's definitely Horatius.
How dare.
Good question.
So for the hear the question, it was basically what mental health hurdles do we deal with as creators and entertainers, and how do we deal with them in either healthy or unhealthy ways, I suppose. And I could definitely tag here.
You want to start, right? You want to start us off?
So for me, myself specifically, I suffered a lot of burnout back in July, August, because I had the one good thing going of the cafe. And because I knew that was my powerful one really good thing to do, I jumped into it more because, and I'm sure many content creators feel this, especially VTubers, I'm not doing enough. I should be doing more. I can do better. So you put more work in, you schedule more videos, you schedule more streams, you stay up later, you work on more content, and eventually you see that your numbers are actually going down instead of up. Because at some point, there comes a time where you're so burnt out that you don't even realize that you're burnt out. What really matters is that you schedule yourself, and I know it sounds weird, schedule yourself time to take breaks and to make sure that you can pull yourself away from that entertainer mindset. Because if you don't, then you're gonna just keep falling into the same trap of, oh, my numbers went down, I should be doing more. I should be working harder. When in case, it's not always the fact. Because numbers could go down for a multitude of reasons. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it is so important to be able to step back and not just microanalyze numbers, but to analyze feeling, to analyze year of growth, months of growth, not just days, not just hours, not just that stream specifically. And to just give yourself a break. Because some of the best ideas that you'll have will come from taking breaks and doing things that you enjoy. And editing content does not count as taking a break. Okay.
There's like, when I started out, I pretty much thought to myself that I wasn't good at literally anything. And I always struggle with the feeling of not feeling like I'm good enough at anything that I do. And I also don't clap often because I feel like I'm very quiet and I have my struggles. But when it comes down to looking at my own chat, they would just reassure me all the time, hey, we like what you're doing great. And at one point I was like, all right, I'm just not going to believe myself, I'll believe you instead. And I kind of just like drag myself along the way, but with like the motivation that I got from people just giving me compliments in chat and my community helping me to stay afloat and such. Yeah, that's kind of like how it went for me.
Great. All right.
Yeah. Something to add on to what you were saying, right? You know, about something to add on to what you were saying about, you know, the taking breaks and doing stuff. So I mentioned I come from the entertainment industry, and like there is a reason why in the workday you will see people spending, like you will see executives and people spending 2 or 3 hours just going to spend time with other industry people. Like they'll schedule it in as like a lunch, like they'll take a 3-hour lunch or something, you know, it'd be like, wow, that's long. But part of the socialization, especially in such a social industry, which I would say VTubing is, really any entertainment industry is, there are, you know, benefits. You can tell yourself that, or just relaxing and socializing with your peers, getting to know your peers, building those relationships up. Like you're always learning from other people, and it's just nice to connect with other people, you know. And it is, at the end of the day, like better for your mental health to do things like that and not just tell yourself that you're only working when you're literally creating content, kind of thing. Or it's only of value when you're creating content, because that's not true.
Great. Well,
there's also an element of just a very quick thing. It's also a very important thing of your real life as well, because it's very easy to get over immersed into what you're doing. You got to take breaks for your personal health as well, like going for a stroll, going to the gym or whatever.
Right. Well, great. Thank you for the question. Next question, please. We got 5 minutes. Let's get it going.
Since there's a large amount of content to be created, I'm just wondering how would I would say starting VTuber get into like a niche of content creation? Okay. Should it be something that the VTuber enjoys, or should it be something that you might think that your fan base enjoys more?
Okay. So Marina actually mentioned this a little bit earlier. To rehash the question, it was for a new VTuber, how would they find their niche? Should it be something that their audience enjoys? Should it be something that they enjoy? And Marina did touch on this earlier a little bit, in the sense of it has to be kind of like a combination of the two. You definitely need to enjoy what you're doing, otherwise you face burnout real hard. It is going to catch you really fast. But if you're, I don't know, playing Dungeons and Dragons, or let's do the meme. Let's say you're playing Valorant because you really like Valorant, but if you're silent for 8 hours and your chat's trying to talk to you, no one's gonna watch you. You have to do content that works for you. You have to do things that work for you, but also are appealing to your audience.
A good method of that I found that kind of works is ask yourself, what am I making? Like, what is my content? Am I a brown-haired individual that plays Valorant? Well, cool. That means you're probably one of 500 other people who have brown hair and are playing Valorant. You've got to try and dynamify yourself. You've got to make it unique and interesting.
Oh, did they freeze? Oh no! We lost them again! Stop!
Reset OBS!
Restrict themselves because they don't want to be like a mature audience, a streamer or something like that, and they will say like, if I open myself to all ages and I force myself to be family friendly and this or that, it'll help me grow. But the reality is, again, it's not make content that you think is good, it's make content that you are good at and that you want to do, right? Someone is gonna, if someone just feels more comfortable doing like content on Twitch with that mature tag, they're gonna do a better job than trying to shoehorn themselves into doing like all ages content. If that's just not their vibe.
Okay, well, I hate to say it, but you got cut off partial of the way there. I hope that still helps. Good, okay. Great, we're gonna take our next question. We got 2 questions left, guys. Let's speed through these. What do you got for us?
All right, so I guess I'm not close enough to the mic. Anyway, I'm gonna hit 2 sides of the spectrum here. One is I'm a very small streamer. I don't have a lot of commenters. There are like 20, 40 minutes even at a time that I just don't get comments. Or I'm a bigger streamer with so many comments that it's very difficult to get to them. What's the best way to tackle not letting yourself give just dead air for the longest time? Okay,
so the question was, in case you guys can hear, if you can even still see me, because it looks like you guys are lagging out very, very hard here. How do you basically prevent yourself from getting blown out in terms of having either no active chat or a way too active chat? How do you balance that, and how do you work with it? Oh no. I may have lost them.
Jim, can they hear it?
Oh no.
But
Can you not hear us?
The panel may be over.
Oh, okay, there we go.
Hello?
Did you guys hear the?
Puggy. Yes.
Yeah. Makari was.
I was just saying, do a Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey used to have an amazing method of his method acting where he would literally talk to himself in the mirror. You've got to try and act, even if there's no one there, if there's too many people in this stream, just having a conversation kind of gets that motion going. It gets you used to talking as well.
Even if you I chat 13 questions, single, doesn't matter. Don't stop.
Yeah, you guys froze again.
Ask questions.
Oh no. We're going through a tunnel, guys.
Stop.
The chat's up.
I'm gonna message them real quick so they know that they froze again, but we don't have enough time left, so. 1 sec.
Rest in pieces.
Woo! Can you hear us or just can't hear us either?
No, we can hear you now, but we are basically out of time.
Okay, we love you. Thank you so much, MAGFest.
We love you. Stay hydrated.
All right, we're gonna take one more question real quick though.
Okay, last one.
Oh, okay.
We'll see if we get the door.
Okay, hi. This is not going to be a very positive question.
Okay.
How do you cope when the spotlight on you is shown in a negative way and it is rather public?
Oh.
Ooh.
I'm sorry.
Good question.
So, if you didn't hear the question, is how do you deal with negative spotlight when it's on you? That's an interesting question. I can try and hit it because I've had some.
I a lot of times, so I will just say can't be heard. Hear us? Can you hear us, right?
Well, I have to watch it, otherwise it won't show up on screen.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think they're using
No, we're using Discord.
Oh.
Can you hear us, Ryan? Can you hear us? Okay, Roy can
You
hear
guys
us.
keep cutting out.
Yeah. Thing is over, Ryan.
I will try and feel.
Yeah. Can you hear us? Can you hear us? Can you hear us? Can you hear us?
No.
Okay.
But oh, Johnny, stop streaming.
I think that's it.
Streaming something.
Johnny!
And you, Johnny.
Oh, bring it down. Bring it down to 720 or something.
He's gonna redo it. Don't worry.
I cursed the stream.
It is a good question. All right, go ahead.
It's not. Kidding.
How do you deal with negative spotlight when you're in it?
Oh.
I think we just lost him. This is
Johnny.
gonna be a question then.
You have to share the screen again?
Yeah, the answer is silence. I will try and answer the question. I will try to answer. All right, hold on. So, with negative spotlight specifically, there's a couple different things. First of all, you need to ask yourself, did you actually do something wrong? If someone is accusing you of doing something and you did that thing, you need to own up to it. Apologize to whoever you need to apologize to. Start working at improving yourself, especially if it was something that's especially bad. The VTubing community has had its fair share of people that have done pretty bad things, and it gets brushed under the rug. But when you're in that negative spotlight, it's all up to you how you react to that situation. If it's a big deal, treat it like such. Take time, respond to it accordingly. Don't blame other people. Acknowledge things that have happened. Apologize to the people that need to be apologized to. But if it's something small, like someone says they don't like how you ran a stream, or someone's just intentionally trying to ruffle feathers, I don't think it's worth mentioning. I don't think it's worth addressing, especially when you think of like the audience ratio. For every 100 people that enjoy your stream, you're gonna get one person that doesn't. So giving that one person the attention when they start screaming because they don't enjoy something that you did, or maybe you said something that they didn't agree with on stream, addressing them is the worst thing that you can do, because it shows that you care more about the people that are negative in your community than about the people that are supporting you. So I hope that helped.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course, of course.